I think most of us Americans, including myself, hold a deep respect for our men and women, in uniform as they go overseas, and in terms of being a part of the Army, fighting the battles that protect us at home. You're getting a window into their journey, and perhaps maybe you're somebody that is of the military, and I imagine this project maybe has more relevance to you in that you have this story or something like it. Maybe not exactly, symmetrical in every detail, but still the gist of it you can resonate with. But for those of us who didn't take part in the Army, especially maybe coming out of high school, maybe later on in life or whatever, and we didn't go through the steps it takes to get to being what was what I'm looking for, to taking on that veteran role, you're getting a window of that life here. I love documentaries because they teach you things. And certainly this is not the only project that's done so. But I believe it's a first for Roku. Maybe they've done projects in the past, I might be forgetting about it. But this is the first I've seen of theirs in terms of this particular plot from their originals market. And I'm not sure... Actually, no, in this case I do remember. I forgot that I did look at this. This isn't a Saban Movies or Saban Films partnership. They've had a lot of movies that they've done in the past with that brand, or that company. This is being put out, though, from Blumhouse. And there's a couple projects I don't watch from them, but the ones I have, speaking specifically with their horror stuff, I've really liked what I've seen, for the most part. Not always. Black Christmas was a really weird movie. But anyway, this is different. This is a serious documentary, so it's a little more respectable, I would imagine. But again, Blumhouse is a very talented studio, so seeing their name, I was like, okay, there's a lot of studios, I guess, looking into the Roku platform, and I would imagine this project as well is available for free, given this is a Roku original. That's sort of the path that those projects have taken. This is what it says according to the synopsis on IMDb for 10 weeks, if you're not familiar. 5 Americans go through 10 weeks of basic training, showing their transformation from civilians into soldiers. I had friends that entered the Army probably soon within the high school years, and they had to go for basic training. I have a friend that I haven't seen in many years, but he had this journey. And I heard about, again, the intensive atmosphere and different experiences. I heard it from his family, especially I talked to his mom about it quite a bit. It's definitely, from what I've heard, a taxing experience. I've seen clips online floating around of what boot camp looks like, and sort of that type of rigorous routine. That's sort of, again, what I've heard in terms of basic training and stuff like that. But, he was, I haven't seen him again in years, but he was made all the better for it. And the guy came out, he looked different. It's like when he came back, I'll just say physically, he was much more built than I remember, however long it was after he got back. But I would imagine that this project is going to have a wide reach, especially to the people out there that have this story. And maybe for those of us who hold that deep appreciation and reverence for people within the military, let's go ahead and take a look at this project and see how well it is. But again, I would imagine coming from Blumhouse, it's going to be very competent. We're going to go ahead and watch this first, and we'll talk about it more in my condensed review segment. Follow us watching the video together. It's a very interesting premise. Again, they don't tend to put... they might send pictures. From what I heard from my friend's mom, she got pictures of him once in a while in the mail, but she didn't get film footage of what he was doing and how it looked, all the time when he was there. There's no live stream for her to look into, be like, how's my son, at basic training? So this is giving us a window, a limited window, but a window nonetheless. Here we go. Let's take a look. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Okay.
I was bullied as a kid.
I just want to get my family in a safe place. Let's go, let's go.
Getting off of the bus, my heart sank.
I'm scared.
So you're hearing about the foundational steps that got them to this point of being in the military. That's a really cool layer.
This is not a joke. This is a matter of life and death.
It's absolutely something to take pride and admiration in. It's a very respectable occupation and journey, really. I didn't anticipate it was going to be... I imagine that would actually broaden the appeal out quite a bit. Of course, I said you're getting the window into how basic training works and understanding the foundational steps it takes to be a part of the military for the U.S. Army specifically. But I didn't expect so many foundational layers in terms of what steps led each individual there. And it seems like from these sit-down interviews and just some of the footage that might accompany that, the one kid at the beginning who explains, kid or I guess young adult that explains there's a foundation of bullying, I guess, from earlier on that perhaps inspired, the soldier to be eventually to fight to fight or to take the defense of people who can't necessarily, or who are nervous to fight them themselves. And right, any kid, I remember being bullied in school, so I totally get it. But it's very transformational. Beautiful story. I love documentaries for this. Again, the relevancy that you can find in other people's lives, and perhaps the more you can learn about yourself, and the more connection, right? I love that appeal of a documentary, and I like seeing it employed here. I think it's a good layer to add on. I think, again, it grounds things, maybe for people who don't have this experience. Imagine, again, for people who have been through basic training, boot camp, things like that, again, the foundational steps for military life. This is obviously, I would imagine, resurrecting memories for you and personal experiences, because you were sitting there going like, I lived in that moment. I lived in that environment. I went through that training. But for those of us who didn't, we can start to understand and grasp what it looks like better. We get the visual. I appreciate that. What are your guys' thoughts with 10 Weeks? It's like a very intensive show, very well filmed. Again, this is from Blumhouse, so I'm not surprised. It's a very high-quality project and very respectfully done. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, and sharing that bell. Until we get to watch more from Roku, as they put out more content, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from them so far. And again, it's all free for the most part, so it's like, who doesn't love free? I will see you guys at whatever point that happens to be. But for now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to love your fellow man. God bless and peace.